Tanzania still harbors vast wild areas, populated with animals that are almost extinct in other places. I'm gonna cross these large savannas and head for the shores of Lake Tanganyika, because beyond these plains are hiding the last representatives of a terribly endangered species, the chimpanzees. My name is Olivier Wallet. For the last 15 years, I've been living in Namibia with cheetahs and rubbing shoulders with the main big cats in Africa. I've decided to set out on a quest for the last 3 animals that still live in total freedom. But nowadays, finding their wild paradises means traveling to the most remote regions on this planet, far from man. It took me a day and a half of climbing to reach the top of this giant. I'm on the slope of Mount Meru in Tanzania. This former volcano is 4,560 meters high. And I can tell you that in such a lunar environment, it can get frightfully cold, even though the equator is only 300 kilometers away. This close neighbor to the Kilimanjaro will be my starting point to set out on the traces of the very last chimpanzees. Below me, the cradle of mankind, the Great Rift Valley that stretches out over 6,000 kilometers from the Red Sea to Mozambique. It is believed that this is where our lineage separated from the great African apes approximately 9 million years ago. Here in Tanzania, I will set off to meet our close cousins, the chimpanzees. They have been chased away, exterminated, and the last survivors found shelter on the shores of Lake Tanganyika, west of the country. This sanctuary is protected by a jungle very difficult to access and still preserved from the assault of man. Climbing down from Mount Meru is like taking a trip through time and going back to the origins of Earth when the mineral realm made way for the vegetal realm. 3,000 meters, and I've reached the strange rainforest. It is a cool and very damp milieu, colonized by lichens and ferns. It's a rather harsh environment, but it suits some animals fine. Wow, black and white colobus. They are Colobus gereza. This species was almost extinct in the last century because of their fur that was very fashionable at that time. Rather unusual to see monkeys at an altitude of 3,000 meters. But they are one of the rare primates that have adapted to both mountains and seaside climates. Colobus are not very difficult. they can adapt to any type of forest. They live in family groups with an alpha male, several females, and their young. Once these young males reach sexual maturity, they will be chased away to create their own clan. My first monkeys. It's a very good omen for the rest of my journey. My quest will take me far away from Mount Meru. I'll be heading for Lake Manyara, then the National Reserve of Tarangire, where the savanna animals live, before reaching the Gombe Mountains, land of the chimpanzees. I'm leaving this volcano behind to cross the Arusha Plain and its small lakes to fully enjoy the sights of nature. This is where one of the last populations of lesser flamingos lives. I couldn't help it. I had to jump in a canoe. Actually, this is the only way to come near the lesser flamingos. Like most lakes in the area, this one has a secret. Its waters are very alkaline, and it creates the right condition for the proliferation of a small pink-colored algae. It's also said that flamingos get their color from this algae, the essential food in their diet. Red-eyed lesser flamingos live only near saltwater lakes in volcanic zones, where the rainwaters carry the various minerals contained in lava. These odd birds spend their time feeding with their head upside down. Like real filtering machines, they have fine strips in their beaks that sift the microorganisms. Then they use their tongue like a piston to spit the water out of their beaks and push the food towards their stomach. It's 6 p.m. The sun will soon be setting. I've decided to spend the night by the dry shores of Lake Manyara. Lions and leopards don't venture out in these barren plains. There is nowhere for them to hide or lie in wait for prey. Apparently, I'm safe here. I headed for the south early this morning. I'm continuing on my way through this land where animals live freely, always keeping an eye open. A lion in a tree. You don't see that every day. Being up there, he can avoid the tsetse flies, which are everywhere here. He can also get some more fresh air and spot any potential prey that would pass by. What a smart guy. Time to move on. I really don't want to be his next meal. I shouldn't just watch out for felines. Baboons can also be very dangerous. I've decided to go deeper into this isolated region to meet the Adzabes. the descendants of the first known inhabitants of Tanzania. This discrete population still lives without calendar, cattle or crops, but they know better than anyone how to master the secrets of nature. I am on the Adzabes territory, not far from Manyara Lake. They are one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes in Africa. They move according to their needs in food and have acquired a unique knowledge about this region. The Adzabes speak a complex language, marked by clicks like the San in Namibia or Botswana. Nkana, Nkana. Amayiga, Amayiga. Eno oliva, oliva. There is meat on the fire. They are actually skinning a baboon. They don't seem to really bother about me being here. I kind of feel accepted, without many words, without many blah, blah, blah. So obviously I understand it's monkey meat. Yeah. Apparently, he's looking for his favorite piece, probably the brain. It's actually good. A little water to help me swallow down this piece of brain. Nubea. Nubea. Thank you. I guess that means thank you. Ono, Oliver. Oliver. Ono, Oliver. Oliver. Oli. Oliver. 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 Te. Ono. On a. On a. On a. On a. Hamana. On a. Huh? On a. Not easy to say. On a. I have a problem. On a. On a. On a. So that was his name. He found mine rather hard to pronounce. I find his unpronounceable, but I did it anyway. Sure, it's incredibly simple. Our name represents our identity, and to pronounce someone's name correctly is already to know him a bit. The fundamentals of survival in the bush, lighting a fire without a match or lighter, it's always fascinated me. The trick is to use hardwood on softwood, and after a while, the friction eats everything up and lights the spark. Wow. Well, I usually don't smoke, but I'll try anyway out of respect. Okay, now I understand why he's coughing. I haven't seen any woman so far. I guess that men and women don't mingle. They probably have separate roles in the family and group. Logically, I'd say that the men are the hunters and the women take care of the children and gathering. Some things you do among women and others among men. I guess that it's baboon, monkey meat. Now it's rather clear he's obviously talking about a monkey. Actually, I think he was telling me about the hunt and that he managed to kill it and now we are eating it. It's not very appetizing, but it tastes excellent. Very, very good meat, very well cooked. As a matter of fact, it tastes like pork. This is the wildest meal I have ever had. I've been challenged, now I have to show them. Knowing how to make a fire means being able to live anywhere, stay warm, cook, smoke. The essential of a bushman's life. I don't know if it's what they put in their pipe, but it has a calming effect on them. We just woke up. It's my first hunting day with the Hadzabe people. They invited me to follow them for this incredible mission, but very vital, which is to look for your food. Everybody's smoking, already eating baboon, getting ready for this incredible day. Very wild. There, we just stopped to examine the tree over there, probably looking for a baboon. Apparently, their hunting strategy is aiming at anything that moves. For the time being, we are after birds, small, large, whatever. I need to be quick before I lose them. They are very fast. Even during the hunt, if we can find a tree that bears fruits, we pick some. A little energy to keep going. Nature really has lots to offer, everything we need. It's really bitter, but I guess you can't be too picky when you are in the bush. It's good. I've just realized that you just need to peel the skin off. That's the bitter part. Actually, it's rather sweet and energizing. They just got a little bush baby. Very cute animal, very small. I must say, it's quite sad. When we come from another world than the bush, it seems quite harsh to see that you have to kill to survive. And this is their life, the Hadzabe people's life. And with respect, hunting makes a lot of sense, actually. We just found a very good spot with a lot of wild potatoes. It's actually the first time I taste that. Okay. Like always, sharing. Not only it is very good, but it's full of water and helps you rehydrate. This tree is full of honey with also the bees. So the idea is to put fire close to the tree and to stay behind the fire in order to be protected from bee stings. This is the purest honey I've ever eaten. It's really excellent. I never thought I'd find something so delicious here. Ici. So even if the hunt is not successful, there is always honey to help you forget all these efforts. And before we leave, they fill up the hole they made. This is true harmony, respect for nature. Unfortunately, this wild paradise is endangered. In the last 50 years, livestock and agricultural farming have invaded 75% of the Adzabes territory. The noose is tightening around these free and generous people. Yes. I continue on my way through this land gutted by eruptions and floods, which have designed the landscape of the Rift Valley over the centuries. My next stop, Tarangire and the immense ecosystem of the Maasai Steppe. This is the territory of elephants and large herds of herbivores. Chimpanzee land is still very far away, at the very end of these plains, on the other side of this tortured valley. I thought I could sleep here tonight, but according to the smell, I think the bat had already the same idea before me. So let's go somewhere else. The size of those trees seems to measure up to the elephants that live here, in Tarangire. The water bucks and mongooses are not used to the presence of man. Even the long-tailed field skulls are curious about me. I still have quite a ways to go before I get to the Tarangire River, and the shadows of the trees are already stretching out, announcing the coming dusk. Walking in the savannah at night is out of the question. I stop in the middle of nowhere. My tent is always the safest place to stay. At 6 in the morning, the first rays of sun will start chasing away the fog that envelops the savannah. Now is the ideal moment to enjoy the view of nature awakening. The impalas have spent the night hiding from predators. They can now live in search of new pasture lands. The lookouts of the savannah are already on duty. In this tall grass, I'm really happy to encounter giraffes. From their height, they can spot any predators around, so I feel much more confident when they're here. I often stop to admire masked weavers building their nest in trees, but I've never seen a colony setting up their nest on top of grass around swampy areas. It must be to protect themselves from one of their worst enemies, the snake. In any case, animals never do things for no reason. These swampy areas attract 550 bird species, among which the elegant Jabiru stork. We are nearing the end of the dry season. Water has become rare. The animals are starting moving towards the only permanent river. At last, the river I was looking for, Tarangire, the Watog River. It gave its name to this region that it crosses from north to south. This is the source of life of this ecosystem that benefits from its flooding periods and drops in water level. Once again this year, the rain is late in coming. The river has reached its lowest level. If nothing changes, the animals will suffer from the drought. The Tarangire River is a meeting place for elephants. Here, they can find a little coolness and grass aplenty. Close to his mother and aunts, this calf is safe. He is not quite a year old and still doesn't master the use of his trunk. Tarangire has the highest density of elephants per square kilometer in the world. Every puddle, water spot is mopped. The very last ponds have become mud baths and deparasitizing stations. I've been hearing this ear-splitting noise for a while. It sounded like a gigantic bee swarm. But it's actually a colony of hundreds of red-billed quelleas that invaded this huge acacia tree. In this season, the grass prairies offer incredible amounts of food for these nomadic birds. Red-billed quelea always travel in colonies of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of individuals. What a racket! I continue on my quest to the west. The chimpanzee forest is 800 kilometers away from here. in the Gombe mountain range by the shores of Lake Tanganyika. Approaching our distant cousins takes some effort. I'm gonna have to traipse up to 1,600 meters in the stifling damp of jungle, swarming with mosquitoes and bramble bushes. Finally, I've reached my goal, the forest of the chimpanzees. And in front of me, Lake Tanganyika. It was formed 20 million years ago, as large as Belgium and 650 kilometers long. With the Baikal, it's the longest soft-water lake in the world. Its banks touch the borders of 4 countries. To the south, Zambia, facing me, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and to the north, Burundi. I'm looking at 18% of the total amount of soft water on the face of Earth. Over time, all this water has accumulated in a fault of the Great Rift, 1,700 meters deep. In Tanzania, less than 1,000 chimps have survived human pressure and the disappearance of their habitat. In this dense forest, the canopy is a vegetal cover that creates a stifling atmosphere. Here, the heat is intense. The Gombe Mountains are one of the last sanctuaries where the chimpanzees are still safe. Their population is estimated at about 100 individuals only. They move around daily in search of food. So meeting one of these primates will not be by chance. The humidity level is close to 90%. These conditions have encouraged development of dense and lush vegetation. But for the time being, no sign of the presence of chimpanzees. I've never experienced such a close-up with baboons. It's absolutely incredible, very intense. But the secret is to show no fear. You have to be strong, but very open. You mustn't mean any threat. And apparently they accept me here. From what I know, the enemy of the baboon is the leopard. They have massive teeth that can really give a terrible bite. Here, I really feel connected to nature. I feel welcomed by baboons. This is a lifetime experience. I've just heard very loud cries in the distance. I feel I'm reaching my goal. They finished their nap and they just came down their trees in search of food. But they move so easily here and quickly, it's gonna be a mission to follow them. She's waiting for a baby on top of a tree. As soon as they hop in the tree, they are just invisible. After several hours of walking, this is an encounter that I wouldn't have dared dream of, a hope for the future of this species. This baby is barely 15 days old. He will stay in his mama's arms for 6 months and won't part with her until he is 7. This is a magical moment. I could stay with them for hours, but I prefer to respect their tranquility. The sun is about to disappear. The mosquitoes will soon wake up and invade the jungle. The desert beaches of Lake Tanganyika will offer a little coolness and quiet. It's the ideal spot to spend the night. At daybreak, I'm back on the trail of chimpanzees. It's already very hot. I wonder where these panicked screams come from and made the chimpanzees flee in the canopy. The chimps gathered together and went for hunting. They went after the baby of a blue monkey. I could hear from far that she was calling the baby, but it was too late. For a long time, We thought that chimpanzees were vegetarians, whereas they are really omnivorous animals. Whenever they get the opportunity, they attack small primates, wild hogs or baboons. You wouldn't know that these primates are 4 times stronger than we are, and they can be unpredictable. Well, I just didn't see it coming. Sometimes I think I know where they are, and actually they just appear from nowhere. Chimpanzees live in territorial communities. The daily delousing ritual has many virtues. They get rid of dead skin and parasites, but it also tightens the links between individuals. It helps lower stress and have a little fun. There is one question that comes up to my mind. Who is the human? Who is the animal here? What is the most fascinating is when my eyes cross their eyes. They have a very deep way of looking. It's almost mystical. The DNA of chimpanzees is 98% similar to ours, and they resemble us in many respects. They have 4 long fingers and opposable thumbs, like us. But unlike humans, their feet are made like their hands. In this trap-ridden jungle, chimpanzees are not easy to spot. While they move easily from branch to branch, I prefer to walk along the streams with less vegetation. Actually, I have the feeling they are the ones who found me. "20 meters above my head, a young funambulist is looking for treats, a few termites or ants. It's time for his mother to prepare a new nest. A mattress of fresh branches to enjoy their freedom, far from the folly of man. Now, the mother needs to pursue their young to go to bed. Now it's time for me to go my way. I will let them live their life in peace. Here, they are safe. Men rarely come into these mountains.